Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Tawana Andrew with you on this Sunday morning. You don't usually get me this time of the week, but I'm here filling in for Carson as he enjoys a well-deserved day off. So what we're seeing across the area right now, a bit hazy and cloudy in some spots, certainly looking quite hazy out there on many of our cameras this morning because of that Canadian wildfire smoke. It is just hanging out overhead, and this is something that we are going to have to deal with over the next couple of days. Thankfully, it's really high up in the atmosphere, so that is why everything kind of just looks quite milky and hazy in terms of the skies, but we do have plenty of sunshine out there. So we just have to watch to see how some of those smoke particles overhead influence how much we can warm up. But overall, as of right now, things are looking pretty good across the area. So here's what we're looking at in terms of what's happening overhead. Yes, we have the smoke overhead, but we also have a couple of clouds drifting on through, and that's because of this right here. This front is now continuing to push off towards the southwest, and that means for areas southwest of the metro, especially once you get closer to Paducah, Bowling Green, because that front looks to just kind of hover there for the second half of today, this is where we could see some rain chances. But as of right now, the way things are trending, especially with the location of that front, that is boding pretty well in terms of our potential to stay dry for the rest of your Sunday. So that's certainly some good news as you're heading out and planning for today. So as of this moment, we have all of that smoke coming off of the wildfires in Canada, and that same front that is going to bring that potential for a couple of downpours for areas southwest of us later on today will be the same reason that we are going to keep the hazy skies, keep the clouds and the smoke overhead. It's basically acting like a funnel. It's just kind of it's a very smoky conga line. I'll put it that way. We'll see more of that smoke drifting into our region as we continue throughout the day today, into tonight, into tomorrow, just because that front is going to funnel all of that into and through our area. So if you're wondering why the sky looks kind of funky, this is exactly why. But thankfully, in terms of our air quality, we haven't seen any substantial impacts in terms of that. And as long as it remains in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we shouldn't see any substantial impact with air quality. The only thing that we really will have to deal with, that grass pollen that's making me feel like my throat's on fire half the time. So that is what we are continuing to contend with. Good morning to those of you watching, including Glenda, who says Bardstown is looking good this morning. It is looking pretty good, even with the clouds overhead and even with kind of that hazy, milky looking sky that we have going on as of right now. Now, here's what I was talking about in terms of our rain chances. Most of today, quiet. The clouds that we have overhead in some spots right now, those clear out. We'll climb into the mid to upper 70s for highs, mostly sunny skies, even though the skies will be a lot clearer this afternoon in terms of clouds. It's not really going to be clear because of that smoke that's going to be overhead. So it's going to be one of those weird days. Now, with that front still off towards our southwest, as we head into the late afternoon and evening, I'm going to be watching things kind of just try to pop over towards the Paducah area, down towards Bowling Green. So if you have any friends or family there, they could see certainly some showers, a couple of thunderstorms later on this afternoon into the evening hours. Some of those may linger into early tomorrow morning. But overall, our rain chances, as long as that front stays to our southwest, will remain pretty low. Now, once again, to tonight, since we still have the mainly clear skies and we have more of a northerly flow, we are talking about cooler temperatures for tomorrow morning. In fact, some of us may drop down into the 40s again tomorrow morning. Some of you started off in those low 40s. North Vernon, I think, was our coolest spot with 41 degrees. That does not feel like the first day of June. But hey, That's what you got north running, while the rest of us were just like, we're going to start off in the 50s. So we just had that impact of the northerly wind, and that is what contributed to the cool temperatures that we dealt with this morning, and we're still seeing in many spots. Now for tomorrow, yes, we have plenty of sunshine around. Yes, we're mainly talking about what should be blue sky for your Monday, but the smoke overhead is going to make it look a lot hazier. So keep that in mind. For Tuesday, much of the same. Some smoke overhead, still plenty of sunshine, mid to upper 80s this time. So we are going to start to see that warming trend showing up as we get towards your Tuesday, Wednesday as well. Now, here's the thing about later on this week. We are going to be keeping an eye on this front moving towards us, and it kind of just takes its sweet time moving into our area. And because of that, we are going to be watching for the chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms for some of us on Wednesday. Not all of us, but some of us. And the best potential for some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms will be north of Louisville and west of Louisville, just because of the placement of that front. So since it's kind of just leaning to the side a little bit, this is why only some of us can see those rain chances. So the further south and east you are on Wednesday, the drier you look to be. Now, how things look to progress once we get into Thursday, more of those showers and storms start to move in, because that low gets closer to us. The front gets closer to us. That does still help to enhance our rain chances. But for a lot of our Thursday, it still looks like we're going to be dealing with, yes, more of those showers and thunderstorms for those of you further to the north and west of Louisville, north of 64, west of 65. But as we get that front moving in Thursday night into Friday, here's something I'm watching very closely. With that cold front moving in at that point, and of course those temperatures in the 80s for the afternoon, we could end up with a situation where we get some of those stronger thunderstorms, potentially severe thunderstorms, trying to move in with that Thursday night into Friday. That is a trend we're going to keep an eye on. We also have to keep an eye on additional strong storms possible throughout the day on Friday, with that front still lingering in the area. So we could get a couple of rounds of strong storms with this front moving in, and even seeing some of the modeling trying to hint at that. So if we continue to have that trend showing up, then we may have to trigger an alert day. But as of right now, we're just watching it to see how things continue to go. Because there is a chance for this front to speed up and just kind of roll out of here on Friday and we'll be quiet. But we have to watch to see if it stalls out. Some models have this front just zipping on by, moving into the Carolinas, and we're quiet. But others have that rain lingering a little bit more for the upcoming weekend. And that means we could keep rain chances for Saturday, Sunday, all the way towards at least Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday of next week, if this front stalls out long enough. So we are watching to see how long these rain chances stick around, because that could be the difference between us seeing upper 70s and low 80s for the upcoming weekend and into next week for highs, or mid to upper 80s for highs. So it's just going to be one of those things where we're just watching the trends very closely to see how things evolve as we head further into next week. So for those of you watching, and I'm going to try to answer some of your questions. So Heather wants to know, good morning, Heather. Why do we get the smoky stuff? My throat's been on fire lately. Yes, I don't know if your throat is on fire because of the pollen. Most likely it's that, since a lot of those smoke particles are kind of hovering well above our heads just because of the way the jet stream works. Not a lot of that is filtering down towards the lower levels of the atmosphere. It just makes the sky look weird and kind of hazy. But we're getting the smoky stuff because, as you put it, and I love that you put it that way, by the way. We're getting the smoky stuff just because of the way that the jet stream is set up. And of course, those fronts are also set up because it's acting like a funnel to pull that smoke straight into our region. Think of train cars in a train track. It's the same thing. The smoke is going to want to follow that path, and we just happen to be in the middle of that path. And for those of you also with any sort of grass allergies, with all the rain that we've had recently, that has really allowed the grass to thrive, and that is why our grass pollen counts are so high. I did not know I was allergic to Kentucky bluegrass until I moved to Kentucky, so that was a fun spring for spring here in Louisville for sure. And good morning, Joe. Happy first day of meteorological summer. Yes, it is the first day of meteorological summer. It's the first day also of hurricane season. If you know me, you know I am fascinated with hurricanes. So get ready for me to nerd out over the next couple of months. And hopefully this is a quiet season, but as of right now, it's not looking too quiet. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Heather, you know our gardens are needing a break. Yeah, we've had so much rain recently with the rain is I feel like my plants are doing very well, but I'm starting to see more of those gnats that pop up when you have like too much moisture in the soil, and I do not know how to get rid of those. So if you know how to get rid of those gnats, the ones that come along with them when the soil is too wet, please let me know because I am struggling with some of my pepper plants. I'm doing a lot of pepper plants this year in my garden. Trying to grow things that I can eat. Because everything's really expensive right now. So yeah, our gardens need a break. And thankfully the fact that we have at least the first half of this week dry should help things out. And then we'll get more of that rain later on this week. So we don't really have to spend that extra money watering things, which is nice. Good morning, sir. Mr. Purvis, come on, not Saturday rain. It's the church walk. Well, thankfully right now, it's not looking like all of next Saturday will be a washout. Hopefully that holds. It's just going to be some sort of rain chance. So might be walking with an umbrella, and that just adds to the fashion statement, right? It just makes things more fun. Okay, so Angie wants to know, are we getting the Sahara dust as well? No, as of right now, no. And the reason that we're not getting that is because that front is going to act basically as a boundary to keep that stuff further to our south, which should keep that Saharan dust away from us. So more of the southeast will be dealing with that. We just got to deal with the Canadian stuff. So it's a weird dynamic that we have one or the other. And as of right now, it's mainly just the smoke that we are dealing with. Let's see. Crispy brisket, which now you made me crave brisket. Any new big severe indicators this week, or is it also kind of looking iffy? It is still kind of looking iffy. We have to watch the timing of that Thursday, Friday front, and really to see when it moves in, because that will, if it comes in overnight, then we may not have as much of a severe threat. But if it's a late Thursday evening or early Friday morning, and we have enough of that cape around, yeah, we could get a couple more of those strong storms trying to come our way. So we are starting to see, especially in the CSU, that low end severe threat trying to show up across our area. And that is something that we're watching very closely. But the timing of everything will be key. The track of the low for Thursday and Friday will be key. So we are watching it. And if anything starts to look extra spicy in terms of that, we will probably be issuing an alert day for maybe that Thursday, Friday timeframe as of right now, is the way that it's looking. So if we do that, it would either be tomorrow or Tuesday that we would issue one. So just keep an eye out on that. Other than that, yeah, it's just a bunch of rain chances coming our way. Yeah, Thursday, Friday right now is the best chance for showers and storms as we head over the next 10 days. And then depending on the location of that front as we head into the following weekend, we could see those rain chances going up or down. So going to be watching all of that. But overall, this is not the worst forecast that we've had. So, I mean, we can certainly take that. Hopefully no more of that severe weather, because still so many of us are recovering from everything that we've seen over the past couple of weeks and months in terms of severe weather. And of course, that Friday tornado broke my heart to see all those people injured, and unfortunately that one death. So hopefully we can keep things a lot quieter in that regard. We're kind of stuck in this pattern as of right now with these more robust fronts pushing through. So we'll probably get a few more rounds of severe weather before things quiet down for the summer months. I'm not really going to rule that out. And then once we get into summer, is going to be those pop-up strong thunderstorms that like to happen in the afternoon and evening. So this is what we are looking at as of right now. Of course, going to be closely watching those rain chances for the end of the week. And I will be on weekend sunrise at 9 a.m. So just in 20 minutes with more about what we're going to be seeing as we get to the second half of this week in terms of rain chances, severe threat, and everything along those lines. So I'm going to hop off here and check out the new data that is currently coming in. Yes, 841. So we're starting to see the tail end of some of these models moving in right now. So I'm going to look at those and bring you the latest updates on Weekend Sunrise with Marissa. And you know, me and Marissa are always a little bit of a hoot and a half. So y'all have a great Sunday, and I will see you in about 20 minutes on air.